Everybody's really upset about that. We're going to be
Okay, I thought maybe we were all saving.
Yeah, no, I'm saying. That's all your It's like a running rabbit. Here, get your raffle ticket.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to Prevalent. My name is Linda Bennett. And to start with, how many of you, this is your very first time? What brought you here? What got you to come tonight? It's not on? I didn't turn it on. I didn't touch it. Okay. I have to listen to it. I will. Now is it on?
No.
I'm moving to the other side. Now is it on? We have had, I cannot begin to tell you how many technical difficulties we have had.
You have a good voice. We can hear you back here.
And,
Yes.
we're trying one more time. So there's a point where my voice doesn't go down. All right. I tried one more time. Not working.
Okay.
Okay. So, where was I? We were talking about, what brought you here? Something pointing to another person. That person brought you here. Any other reason why you were here other than somebody dragged you here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because, right?
Oh, wow.
It's meant to be.
I
Okay.
listened to that.
So is it?
We'll go with that. I like that. You know, absolutely, absolutely. So, we are known as a school of great energy. And I don't know how many of you have experienced, but the minute you walk in the door, you just kind of settle in and feel like it's a place you could really fit in. Even though a lot of people would describe us as the woo people, they're all slew of people. They're just like the rest of us, and we love having you here. And the energy here is very much a sense of community. We really encourage that, and we really want to encourage you to be whoever you are here. And so we're going to find out about some of you this evening in some very special ways. So we are also an Arizona state licensed, nationally accredited spirit-directed college. And what do we mean by that? First of all, what we mean is that we are nationally accredited. So that means we have to go through quite a few hoops and loops for the Department of Education for them to put their stamp of approval on our programs. And believe it or not, we are even held to a higher standard than some of the traditional universities. And we pride ourselves in staying up with all those standards. And we, I would say probably out of the last 10 years, I would say maybe 6 of them, Barb, maybe you know that we've been the top school of the year for the state of Arizona. So, you know, for private school. So we're very, very proud of what we do here. And we're very proud of what happens here with our graduates and our students. Our mission is to help individuals discover their gifts and graces and then take them out into the world in a loving and profitable way. That's what we're about. And we teach all kinds of things. How many of you have heard of toe reading? How many of you came tonight to get toe reading? That's what brought some of you here. We have a lot of different modalities that we're going to be offering at the end of the evening. You'll have a chance to experience some different things that we do offer here. Now, we also have graduates, many, many graduates. And how many graduates are here tonight to celebrate their graduation? Yay! Would you have many stand up? graduation? Well, would you two ladies please step up? Yay. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to have a chance to introduce yourself. You're going to have a chance to tell us what program you graduated from, how you're taking your gift out into the world, and then you're going to light a candle and add your light to our light, and then okay. It's going to be a night of technical. I don't even see a button on this thing.
Yep, talk into it. Close to your mouth.
Okay, I cannot do this all night long.
It's on.
Hi, I'm Kara Green, and I graduated in October from the massage therapy program, the 750. But with that, I did the life coaching, and I'm also a yoga teacher now. Prior to that, I was a teacher, elementary school teacher for 20 years. So this was a huge, huge journey. And I've come to these before, and I've heard people say that it was a life changer, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, no offense, but I was never one of those woo-woo people, but now I kind of am. So I understand like the whole energy thing. I used to not be that person, and I so believe that now. But like with the life coaching part of it, for those of you that may be interested in coming to this school or you're already going, well, every program I attended, I absolutely loved. But honestly, the life coaching, I thought I was a pretty decent person. I still am. But after life coaching, the internal transformation I went through was crazy. When I started it, the instructor's name was Richard, and he had said, if there's something negative in your life at the end of this program, it'll be gone. And at the time, I was in a very horrible relationship, and I thought he was the love of my life. And at the end of it, he was no longer in my life. Yay! So we've been apart for a year, and I talked a whole bunch, but it's great. Sweetheart's awesome. Welcome. Right now, I am a massage therapist, practicing massage therapist. I have business cards. Should have brought more. But I've been so far super successful with that. I have my private clientele. I go to people's homes, and I'm very happy. So.
Sorry, I'm not as talkative. I will be in a minute, maybe. The nerves settle a little bit more. Give me a minute. My name is Cassandra. I actually just graduated in January from the MT 1000 program, and I'm very, very excited because I just quit my job with pretty much no notice. I was like, oh crap, why did I do that? I kind of really needed that. Now, not even 2 weeks later, I already have another job making more, technically, without as many hours. So I'm very, very much happy and very much appreciative, especially to my friends and family who have supported me for almost the entire 2 years that I've been here. So all I can say is that I'm really happy.
Which part?
Sand and...
Oh, you know, I think we copied somebody. Thank you. Any other graduates here to celebrate the graduation this evening? Okay. Well, to get the ball kind of rolling, I think it's time to do a drawing. Now, let's draw for a prize. How are you doing? Very good. Okay, this drawing is going to be for a complimentary facial. Some of you might notice that there's a brown paper bag under your chair. Do not touch this. Please wait. There's a very special moment for those brown bags. So we're drawing for a facial.
Ramona, here's two more that I just came in.
Now watch, they'll win.
Okay. Let me see if there's two.
We have one seat up here and one here. Close but not next to each other.
Okay, first, the last three on this, whoa, I don't have my glasses.
899. Look at that. That's on that. One more before we move on. And this will be for a complimentary session, which could be craniosacral, Reiki, hypnotherapy, for stress, Thai foot massage, and oh, yes, it helps. Oh, this is 900. Me. There you go. You're very welcome. Okay, we'll do some more drawings before the end of the evening. So hang on to those tickets. Okay, so tonight is about stress. How many of you have experienced stress this week? Okay, or a lot. A lot. I got a couple of lots, big ones like that. Okay. The good news is we have some help for your stress. The bad news is stress is never going to go away. Stress is just it is. You know, it's just there. And how do we deal with stress? Some of us do a really fine job of it. Some of us have maybe not the best skills of dealing with stress, and that might be interpreted into road rage, you know, or some other silly thing that we might do when we get stressed. And what we know about stress is, first of all, this is stress month, meaning this is the month that the medical community, psychologists, psychiatrists, all of them put an emphasis on educating their clients about stress. Why do you think April would be a big stress month? Taxes. Exactly. That's the number one thing that makes April just a little unbearable. And you know, it's not so much I don't think about paying the taxes as much as it's pulling all that information together. You know, where did you put the receipts? Where do you have this document? Where do you have that? And that is very, very stressful. Now, what we know is that those that handle stress well are what we call very resilient. In other words, they've developed skills to help them manage what's going on for them. And do you know, one of the best stress skills is the ability to ask for help. Now, some of you, I have a hunch, haven't mastered that skill very well. I'll do it myself. Anybody like that? Anybody would own that? Yeah, there's a few of us. So you guys must be sitting on your hands. So the idea is that if we can learn these skills, then we are going to manage our stress in a much better way. And another way to manage stress is through humor. Now, not only is April Stress Relief Month, but it is also the National Humor Month. And this has been celebrated for many, many years. In fact, humor as a humor month, April's humor month, actually has been going on for 40 years. Who would have thought? And one of the things about humor month Again, it's about really educating the world and helping us understand how important humor is in our lives. How many of you say you get a good laugh every day? Some of you. Okay, some of you. It's kind of like that apple thing, you know? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. A laugh a day will probably keep the doctor away as well. So that's what we want to look at. Now, one of the things about the National Humor Month is it has a kickoff of April Fool's Day. Anybody know why we have April Fool's Day? How it got started? It actually happened a long time ago, in the late 1500s. What happened is, at one time, April 1st was actually New Year's. Then the Gregorian calendar came out, and they shifted New Year's to January 1st. Well, back in that day, in the 1500s, they didn't have TV, the internet, telephones. So, unlike instant information that we have today, it took a while for information to get around. You know, it was a long process. So what happened was, not everybody knew that they'd made the change from April 1st to January 1st to New Year's. The word hadn't reached everybody. So people on April Fool's Day, which is now known on April 1st, were being silly and acting out because they thought it was New Year's, and everybody else who knew what was going on, they were in the communication loop, thought they were just fools. So that's where the name came from. Who would have thought, right? Okay. Now, anybody ever heard of the Holy Fool? The Holy Fool is actually a very high spiritual archetype. Even in the Bible, Book of Proverbs, it says, "A cheerful heart does good medicine, but a broken spirit makes you sick." And there was an understanding of the benefits of humor for a very long time. I'm going to go back to even some earlier history. But Simon was known as the Holy Fool. And Simon was a man who really believed that we needed to learn to laugh at ourselves, that we were taking life much too seriously. And he would go around and make a complete idiot of himself, act out. During church services, he would throw things at the priests, you know, and of course everybody else was called this crazy Dana. And he would do all kinds of ridiculous things in front of people, and people were really quite appalled by him. What they didn't know until after his death is that he was quite a philanthropist. And he was giving charity and doing things for people behind the scenes, and nobody knew that that's really what he was about. And he was just trying to teach everybody not to take life so seriously and to learn to laugh more. Now, Carl Jung, who many of you have heard of, he developed a model that many of us know about, which is known as the 12 archetypes. And these archetypes are pretty universal. And basically, the belief is we develop, as we go through our own life journey, these different archetypes. And of course, the child, the innocent, would be the initial archetype that we're all starting with. The highest archetype, the most developed archetype of Jung's model is the Holy Fool. And that is where we have come through. The belief is that you have come through, again, all the trials and tribulations of life, and you have now transcended all of that, and you are now able to evolve into a place of lightness and laughter and taking seriously, and taking life much more lightly, not too seriously, and therefore you are ascended to a higher spiritual level. So he really was a spiritual master, teaching us spirituality in a way that people didn't expect. And we have a lot to learn from Simon. Now, ancient Greek physicians. Sure.
There's a saying, and I have it in my car, that says it's never too late to have a happy childhood.
Absolutely.
What you were saying just really did that.
Yeah, it isn't too late. Now's the time. The ancient Greek physicians knew about the benefits of humor, and they literally would send their patients to temples of humor. They would send them there to the temples, they would send them to the theater where they were to be entertained. And then they found that when individuals were in a lighter energy field, so to speak, with humor and entertainment, that they started to heal. That it took their mind off of whatever it was that they were struggling with in their illness, and it focused it in a different way, and they learned to heal. Now, Native American culture also believes in the benefits of laughter. And there are clowns in many of the tribes, many of the traditions, and typically the clown worked with the witch doctor or the medicine man. And it is seen in some tribes that the third ranking of the hierarchy of the tribe is the clown. That's how much value they put on it. Again, recognizing the benefits that come from that. Martin Luther, a great mystic, and he, again, in his pastoral counseling, always recommended to his parish, his followers, that again, it was important to expose yourself to people that were lighthearted. That when you have something going on in your life, instead of sitting around and everybody talking about the doom and gloom of it, it was to expose yourself to those people who were uplifting, that were happy, and in that, then people who were suffering from what we would call depression, or they had lost a loved one, or sadness, whatever, loneliness, isolation, that when they associated with people of lightheartedness, then their heart lightened up, and they became happier as well. It was seen as a form of medicine. You've heard the phrase, laughter is the best medicine. And back in the 13th century, there were physicians at that time that would recommend to their patients that prior to surgery, they do a lot of laughter. And after their surgery, they do a lot of laughter. And it was literally prescribed to them to do certain activities, like go, again, to the theater, go see, mimes, whatever is going on. Now we have court jesters. There are all kinds of people of entertainment that were really valued. And that silliness, when you think about that silliness, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about somebody being that silly? Joy. Okay, what else? Children. Isn't that amazing? Children can laugh to their heart's content. And we delight in watching children laugh. And somewhere along the line, we gave up laughter as we grew up. It's kind of like someone's telling you to knock it off, grow up, be an adult. Just like how many of you were told not to daydream? Knock it off, quit daydreaming. You know that there was a study done in the 60s based on the trends in psychology at that time. In the books, the textbooks that were being used in medical college, and to teachers, if you caught your student daydreaming, tell them to stop, because they were on their way to a psychosis. And you just want to go, really? Who thought this one up? Sadly, it started with boy. But it's like his dream. But what they've since found is those people that daydream, and they've charted the people that actually spend time daydreaming are much happier in life, they're more productive, and things move much easier for them, and they manifest on a much higher level by using their daydreams. So the next time someone tells you to knock it off, if you're daydreaming, just tell them you're working on the future. and you'll catch up with them later. Okay. Anybody ever heard of Norman Cousins? Norman Cousins was lived from 1850 to 1990, and he wrote this wonderful book called Anatomy of an Illness. And what happened for Norman Cousins is that he was diagnosed with a condition, and the doctors pretty much said, you're on your way out of here. You're not going to survive for very long on this. And he didn't care for their answer at all. So he checked himself out of the hospital, and he checked himself into a hotel a few blocks from the hospital. So the hospital wasn't too far away, and he hired a nurse to be there with him to help with anything he might need. And then what he did is he spent all day watching Candid Camera, I Love Lucy, the Marx Brothers. That's all he did, the Three Stooges. That's all he did is he laughed himself to wellness, along with lots of vitamin C. That's what he did, and he cured himself of the condition and lived another 20 years. So he proved those doctors wrong just by choosing to laugh about it. And it's amazing what can come of that. Now, how many of you Marx Brothers fans? Characters, boy, the characters. And you know, what happens is laughter produces endorphins in the body, and those are natural painkillers. So that it can lessen our pain just with a little bit of laughter. Now, you see how good technology is. Let's see if it plays. I can't see the. There we go. So anybody noticing these shifts in their own bodies right now, just from watching that? Here's this one. Just now, if you, how many of you see Candid Camera? Now you know for some of you are too young because it didn't exist for you. But we were lucky. Many of us were lucky, and this is so much fun.
Prepare birthday cakes. To this plan, we called a group of people who were engaged to help us decorate our cake.
And recently, we set up our own cake assembly line, and here's a woman working on that cake. And as you can see, the conveyor belt moves quite slowly, so she's got plenty of time to go over and get the box and put the cake in the box. And we'll come back to her in just a minute, but let's rejoin that gentleman and see how he was doing 40 years ago.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. Okay. So, again, laughter reduces stress, and when we are stressed, we produce a hormone called cortisol. And laughter reduces that hormone in our bodies. Now, let's do another drawing just for fun. We've been having so much fun. Let's see what we'll give. Okay, now we're going to give away a massage. Okay. The last three numbers, 9, 5, 9. One more. Okay, great. Okay, the last three numbers are 9, 5, 6. There you go, and you won a session of cranial sacral Reiki hypnotherapy for stress or type of massage. All right. Now, anybody ever heard of Patch Adams?
Yes.
Patch Adams is amazing man. If you have never seen the movie, find it on Netflix or someplace and watch it. It's amazing. Robin Williams played the character of Patch Adams. And back in the 1930s, there were so many children stricken with polio that there were clowns sent into the hospital to help these children with this horrible disease. It was plaguing the country at that time. And Patch Adams was very moved by that. And when he went to medical school, he was a bit of a clown. And he really saw the benefits in humor and healing. Now, a lot of his professors didn't necessarily take well to some of his humor. And there were a couple times when they almost flunked him out of medical school, and they finally relented. And he went around to the hospitals helping people, learning to laugh more, even those whose life was coming to an end. You know, instead of going out in tears, to go out in laughter. And he made a huge impact. And he has a private hospital in the South where people can go. And it's the work that they do and the amazing things that they do there is really fascinating. And it's, like I said, it's really worth checking out. So again, like I said, laughter, it helps produce a lot of T cells and things in the body, proteins that will help the body heal faster. Believe it or not, Laughter helps the heart. It increases blood pressure. I'm sorry, not blood. Blood flow. And the blood vessels, so it lowers blood pressure. And believe it or not, laughter also helps with diabetes. I don't think very many people are aware of that, but what it can do is it can lower blood sugar levels naturally as opposed to drugs. Laugh until your belly hurts and then just a bit more. Now, how many of you love to exercise? It's for you guys. Okay. Well, believe it or not, laughter helps the whole body physically. And they say that one good belly laugh is up to 45 minutes of stationary jogging. So those of you that are having a hard time getting to the gym, how do you want to go out rowing? Yeah. Okay, there's a few of you. Well, 20 seconds of laughter is the equivalent of 3 minutes of strenuous rowing.
Oh my God.
So, kind of makes exercising seem like not such a bad idea anymore, right? Knowing that we can have fun while we're doing it. I love this quote from Kurt Weill.
I love it.
Laughter and tears are both responses to frustration and exhaustion. I myself prefer to laugh and there's less cleaning to do afterwards. Alrighty. Believe it or not, laughter helps for anti-aging. It helps the body, and in the sense that it lessens cellular decay. And so we are actually younger when we laugh. Now, laughter yoga. I'm going to bring up a guest now, and I think we'd like to come up, and we're going to talk a little bit about laughter yoga. How many of you have heard about laughter yoga? Very good. Would you like a microphone?
Can you hear me without?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Usually, laughter yoga is based on the premise of laughing for no reason. So we've already laughed at Lucille Ball and at Candid Camera. So now we're going to get that equivalent of 3 minutes of rowing exercise, and we're just going to laugh for no reason for about 20 or 30 seconds. So let's just do that. So. You might wonder how old it started, and it did start with Dr. Victoria in India. And he had actually read Norman Cousins' book, Anatomy of an Illness. And he wanted to use those concepts to help his patients. And originally he was going to write an article about it, and he thought, well, I should just go out and laugh with people. So one early morning in spring of 1995, almost 20 years ago now, he went out to a big public park in Bombay, India, and asked people to laugh with him. And I always picture him and his wife going around this big public park and saying, would you like to laugh with me? And then people going, oh, no, that's So they started out meeting every day. They had like 3 guides that joined him the first day. They went back every day. They met every day for a couple of weeks. They ended up with like 50 people at the end of 2 weeks. They actually started out telling jokes. And after a couple of weeks, they discovered that not everybody had the same sense of humor. Maybe not like Lucille Ball, or nobody. Some people don't get the Three Stooges, right? And so that's when they kind of started laughing for no reason. Laughter yoga was brought to the United States in 1999 by an American psychologist named Steve Wilson, who's actually been chairman of National Humor Month, so that's kind of a nice tie in there. We started it at Sweet Hop 5 years ago next month, so
Wow.
we've been going strong here.
Make the announcement. What's the announcement of your group?
Pardon?
What's the name of your group?
Sweet Ha Ha. So I'm going to show you a couple exercises we can do. Laughter exercises, you see some involve breathing, some involve just laughing. We're going to start out with a breathing exercise. This is one of my favorites. I love to do stress relief exercises. This is one for when you're frustrated or just stuck with something, and as you breathe in, we're going to go, I don't know.
I don't
And then you breathe out, you're going to go, and I don't care.
I don't know.
That's a great one. Another great one. This is a good flexibility, creativity exercise. Sometimes your brain just kind of gets stuck in one gear. We use dental floss to clean our teeth. This is mental floss to clean out our brain. So we're going to spread that floss through our brains and we're going to clean it and laugh at the same We do. Very good. This is a good one when you're frustrated or mad about something. Are you familiar with the White Warriors in New Zealand? They're the guys that paint white stripes on their faces and they're very, very fierce and scare people. So the White Warrior laughs like this. Ha! Ha! So join me. Ha! 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 Okay, very good. So that's a good one.
Yay!
I gave you some handout here, and on one side you get a whole bunch of stress relief exercises. And if you come to Laughter Club here, you'll get to experience a lot more of those. And on the other side of the handout, you have the principles of good-hearted living. And these were developed by Steve Wilson when he started the World Laughter Tour. And if you practice these principles every day, you'll find that you'll make more room in your life for laughter. And I'll just quickly go down the list, and then you can read the little exercise and the little quote. So Mondays are for compliments, Tuesdays are for flexibility, Wednesdays are for gratitude, Thursdays are for kindness, Fridays are for forgiveness, and weekends are for chocolate. Anyway, Sweet Haha is the second and fourth Friday, right here. At 6 o'clock, it usually lasts for an hour, and we have a great time. We have about 6 laughter leaders that participate, so you get a lot of variety. One of our laughter leaders is an artist, she brings really wonderful pictures to tie in with the laughter exercises. Some of us use music, so all kinds of fun things to experience. So come and join us at Laughter No Reason.
All right.
Laughing burns calories. And the study states that 15 minutes a day can burn up to 50 calories. Well, you know, maybe that's not going to be the best thing as far as avoiding the gym completely. However, 10 to 15 minutes of genuine vigilance can burn off the number of calories found in a medium square of chocolate. So the next time you reach for that medium square of chocolate, just do some laughter with it, and your calories will just not even be an issue. Okay. Now, sadly, depression is one of the leading illnesses, in fact, the #1 illness in the country at this time. And sadly, a lot of people are on antidepressants. And basically what we're finding, and I know that Lynn knows this with laughter yoga, that the more that people do bring laughter in, the lighter they become, and depression starts to slip away. And I don't know about any of you, but I'd rather laugh than have to take a pill. You know? It seems like this is the more logical. So, is the glass half full or half empty? Oh. Anybody have any other thoughts?
Well, no, I don't know.
Just enough. Some of you see it as half empty. What is actually, it's completely full. It's completely full. It's full of air and water, so it's never even half empty. And when you see and you look at this and think about your life in this manner, what does that do for you? What does that feel like when you just think of it in that way? Does it change things? Do you feel a little bit more optimistic? Okay. Now, sadly, pessimists are right. You're going to want to be a pessimist, you need to be right about that. Optimists can be right too. We want to be right that the glass is always full. Now, how much fun and recreation do you plan in your life? Some of you are planning it. I know for me, if I don't have fun and recreation on my calendar, it doesn't happen. If I don't schedule it, life goes by and it goes on and on and on, and all of a sudden I'm, maxed out and I need a major break. Learning to actually schedule fun and recreation in our lives is really an important skill. This right here could represent different aspects of your life. Maybe this is your family, this might be your job, this might, whatever. But always making sure that a part of our balance in life includes at least a sliver of some fun and recreation. Now, some of you at the end of the evening might choose to experience life coaching. And one of the greatest tools that we use with life coaching is something called the balance wheel. And what we do is we have 8 categories on the balance wheel. And one of the categories on there is fun and recreation. And sometimes you need to sit down with somebody and have a coach work with you to help you make a commitment to create more fun and recreation in your life. How many of you have something planned this weekend, outside of tonight, doesn't count, for fun and recreation? Okay. Okay. Some of you don't. And the question we want to ask ourselves is, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for to have some fun and recreation in our lives? Now, anybody ever heard of the chakras?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For those of you who may not know, the chakras are energy centers in the body. And there are what we know as 7 energy centers in the body. And each one has a different function and different purpose. And just to give you a quick run through, at the very base of your spine is known as the root chakra, and the color for that one is red. Oh dear, okay, well, we'll go off. I'll explain where I'm going. All right, then we move up to the sacral chakra, which is orange, the solar plexus, which is yellow. The heart chakra, this is the energy around the heart, is green. We have the throat, which is blue, the third eye, which is violet, and the crown, which is usually white. Now, there's another chakra, and it's going to sound like I'm making this up, but I'm not. It's known as the clown chakra, and it's the thymus. And I have over here, anybody ever heard of crystal singing bowls?
Yeah.
This is the clown chakra singing bowl. I did not make this up. It really is toned to the thymus chakra. And it's to open up that energy center. So we're going to do that. So what I want you to do is, if you'll just close your eyes for a minute. Just take a deep breath. Just focus on the center of your chest area. How does that feel? What did you notice?
Relaxing.
Relaxing? Okay. For me, whenever I hear it, I can't help but smile. It just somehow I just start smiling. It's like, really? You have the same thing, Sarah? Yeah. Okay, all right. So again, it's understanding that everything is a vibration, and that humor is a vibration that we send out and we share with other people. And it can be quite contagious. Now, believe it or not, there is a clown academy, and I'm not making this stuff up. And there are scientists there at the Clown Academy that are studying the effects on the physiology, the effects on the body and the brain of having to do with laughter. And what they found is that they find that very often the thymus, the clown chakra, is blocked. Now, anybody, if you don't know this, if you ever find that your energy is very low, instead of reaching for the red ball, tap your thymus. Just tap right here. And when you tap right here, it literally brings up your energy.
Oh, really?
And it's, like I said, it's so much better than the Red Bull. You know, I'm sure Red Bull will not have any Now, what they discovered, and I'm going to read this because I don't want to misquote this. They found that people that were stressed and feeling miserable, that their clown chakra was blocked, and when they observed their cells under a high-powered microscope, metaphorically, what they saw in the cells was the cells displayed a sad face. And when the clown chakra was opened and functioning, the cells displayed a happy face. And they said that when somebody's out of balance, they're ill. ILL, which stands I lack love.
Oh.
Then what they discovered, and again, this is this is their stuff. I didn't make this up. That when the chakras are shut down, when their cells are what we would call diseased, again, the sad face is there, and the happy face would show when they came into balance. And what they did is they noticed the cells when it was changing from the sad face to the happy face, that the cells would shape into tiny red-shaped, heart-shaped balloons. And that the red balloons contain love and joy. And so their recommendation is whenever you're stressed, imagine a red heart-shaped balloon, and it's filled with love and joy, and that you send it out to the world and bring that energy into the world. So, now, anybody ever heard of Swami Vivekananda? Hysterically funny. I just love the name. Don't you just love the name? His name is Steve Berman, and he is a very well-known humorist. And he has come up with guidelines for enlightenment, and I'm just going to give you the first one. Be a fundamentalist. Make sure that fun always comes before the mental. Realize that life is a situational comedy that will never be canceled. A laugh track has been provided, and the reason why we are put in the material world, oh, there we go, is to get funnier material. That's why we came here, just to get funnier material. And have a good laugh sensitive twice a day to ensure regular polarity. And it goes on, and it's really quite fun, and you might want to check out his website. He's got a great bit of information there about having fun. So we started tonight and was talking about stress management. And sometimes we don't know how to let that go. And so we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to let some of our stress go. And what that requires is very simple. You putting your feet flat on the floor and closing your eyes and just going along for the ride. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and take in a nice big deep breath. Release that breath. Take in another breath. Know that every time you breathe in, you're breathing in positive energy. Every time you release a breath, you're letting go of any tension, any negativity stored in your body, allowing yourself to relax completely and let go. Taking in a breath, and as you release it, you let all the muscles in your head and shoulders soft and relax. Now with another deep breath in, as you release it, you let all the muscles in your arms relax. And allowing yourself to sink down comfortably into your chair. And now with another deep breath in. As you release it, you let all the muscles in your chest, your stomach, all the way down through your toes. Relax. And let go. As we continue, allow yourself to stay very focused in on your own experience. To become aware of other sounds or movements inside this room or even outside of the room. Any of that awareness will simply help you become even more focused in on your experience. I'd like you to imagine, just pretend if you need to, that you're someplace out in nature. Someplace out where it's open. Perfect place for you. It could be a field, a meadow, it could be a sandy beach. Perfect, beautiful place. And just take in the sights and the sounds and the smells of this beautiful place for you. Take in another deep breath. And I want you to notice that in one of your hands is a bunch of strings or ribbons that you're hanging onto. And attached to those strings, those ribbons, are balloons. And those balloons are filled with the things that are causing you stress, anxiety, frustration, things you're hanging on to, old hurts, resentments, negative thoughts and feelings. As long as you hang on to them, it's hard to really reach out fully for what you want. So you have an opportunity. And I want you to imagine beginning to let those balloons go. One at a time or all of them at once. It's entirely up to you. And as you begin to let those balloons go, as they begin to lift up away from you, as they begin to float higher and higher into the sky, they begin to get smaller and smaller. Begin to float away from you, taking with it all the stress, all the negativity, letting those balloons go, knowing that as you release them, you release your hold on whatever is causing you stress. Just let the stress go. And as you let all that stress go, your hands are now free. And now you can reach out for the joy and the love you so richly deserve. And you might even notice that somewhere close by, there's a red heart-shaped balloon filled with joy and love. Just there, waiting for you to reach out and grab one. Embrace the joy and the love. Know that any time you experience stress or anxiety, negativity, all you have to do is imagine those balloons that you have been holding on to. And you can just imagine in your mind's eye, imagine yourself letting go of whatever negativity that you're still hanging on to, or that has shown up that day in your life. You can let it go and embrace the joy, the love that is there for you. You can practice this anytime. It's simple enough to do. So now take in a nice big deep breath. And just notice the feeling in your body as you begin to come back into full awareness. Coming back. How are you feeling? Inspired and invigorated. Oh, great. Anybody else? Anybody notice anything that happened for them as they did this exercise? Nothing happened for any of you? Come on. Somebody. What happened? What happened? You cried? Some of you cried. Oh, I'm so glad. You know, and that sounds like I'm really a horrible person because I made you cry, but that's a good emotion. Yay.
I just keep on coughing. I think sometimes you release energy.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. What she said is that she heard some people coughing, and very often that's a form of release. It's letting go what's stuck there in the throat chakra. Yes?
My heart chakra kept feeling very full and had to keep breathing. So I'm trying to release that energy.
Fabulous, fabulous. So opening up, noticing that kind of thing. Wonderful. Anybody else notice anything? A day without laughter is a day wasted. Try to checklist. So, are we all committed to laughing every day from now on? Yeah? We are? Okay. Don't you love it? There is nothing in the world so contagious as laughter and good humor. Don't you just love that? I'm not sure which one of them is having the most fun. That just, I love that image. It's just so great. Now, part of this evening is that everybody participates on some level. So now, those brown bags I mentioned before, okay, before you, I want you to understand, you're all to reach down and get your brown paper bag and put it in front of you. Right in front of you. Now, there are some things in this bag, okay? There there are some things inside here. Now, everybody raise your right hand and repeat after me. I promise. Once I open this bag, I will put on whatever is in that bag. Okay, you all make the oath. Open your bag. Everybody's got a lot. Now, look at the person next to you. Okay, now everybody's got to leave them on. Now, first of all, I dare you to leave tonight with these on and drive home with you and see what kind of response you get. There's a class that we teach here that we have called stress management, and I did this activity. We do an activity like this in class, and a couple of I dared my students to go out in public this way. So they went to the shop and they walked around and they shopped and then whoops, and the things they got. They said it was the best day they've had in weeks. So we're about to end our evening. Does anybody have anything they want to share or ask before we do our last activity? Any thoughts? Yes.
I just wanted to share a story because I have used this nose before many years ago.
Would you stand up because we can't hear you and I want to give you the mic so we can hear you. Your voice isn't quite that loud. You might have to come up here actually. There you go. Thank you. And you are? Is it on?
Yeah. So I just wanted to share the story about the nose that I did use this many years ago. I had broken up for somebody that I was engaged to, and I was crying all the way to work. And I got the nose and kept it in my car. And every time I would cry, I would stick the nose on, and I would immediately start laughing. And then I stuck it on, and I would look at the cars next to me, and they would start laughing. And by the time I got to work, I was going to have this.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else share or talk about? Yes.
Yes, right around here, I have no practice now. But, yeah.
Animals
I
are lots. Right, that's I know there's some of you are taking your things off. We aren't done yet. We are not done yet. Now, at the end, Ramona, back at the room here, our wonderful leader here, she will help you this evening as far as finding what activities you might want to do, like co-reading and energy work, all that kind of thing. But the very last thing we're going to do. This requires you all standing up. Oh, they're going to do another drawing? Oh, we're going to wait. What's up? Okay, here's another facial. We've got another facial. We'll do this real quick, and then the music. Okay, number 944. 944. One more massage. So this facial top, and the massage is 943. I had it sitting right next to you. There we go. Okay. Facial and massage. Okay, so everybody with your noses, with your glasses. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Don't tell me I'm going to have any technical difficulty after all this. Okay, Ron. Oh, really? I'm going to have a technical difficulty at the end of my seriously? Yeah, laugh. Okay. What's your time? All right, here we go. Hang on, guys. Everybody has to participate. Notice all right, let's get it again.